Welcome to the Shy Tea. My name is Janelle, and I'm here with a very special guest, Miss Tracey. How are you
Hello,
today?
hello, hello.
Now, this is not the Tracey from the Shy, but we're going to take this. This is a very great compromise. Although we love Tracy from the Shy, we got Tracy from Buffalo.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, boo, how you
Yes,
doing?
ma'am.
And she does have her lovely daughter Zuri with us today. So we're just going to be chilling out, talking about the Shy, and recapping episode 3 from season 6. Let's dive in. Open up the Shy with seeing Emmett cleaning the house. Everything is gone. We just have a few boxes left. And Tiffany walks in and she's like, "Are you trying to get that security deposit?" You could clearly see he's trying to get his money back. So Emmett and Tiffany are just, having a conversation. And I'm liking the vibes. They have come a very long way into the space of co parenting. What did you think about where they were at now compared to where they've been
No,
and where
I
they
love
come
it.
from?
I love it.
Like they truly are just showing an example of what
What
co-parenting,
co-parenting
yeah,
and blended family should be.
yeah, and
They hitting every little point. You go have no rocky roads, but at the end of the day, they there for their kids. So
yeah, I really like to see that, and you don't see that displayed a lot in a lot of TV shows.
right,
This is a perfect example of what it can look
right,
like if
and
you.
they're young.
Mm-hmm.
They're very young. So if they can do it, anybody could do it.
Absolutely. We get to see Keisha and Emmett in their new space, and it's looking so nice. You could tell that she's took a lot of time with decorating. She's setting up all the 1,000 pillows that we technically buy all the time. We always buying all these damn pillows, but she's setting up, and they're getting ready for their housewarming. And Emmett is just letting her know that he got Lamar, his friend, coming over, and Tiffany got her trifling friend Malaysia.
Mm.
What did
Child,
you think about the house? Like,
the house was nice. I did like it was a fit for them for their little small family. Nothing big, but it was cute.
yeah, it was really cute. I really liked it. So I'm curious to see what this housewarming is going to be all about. It's going to be lit. All right, so we're here at Smokies, and we see a disgruntled customer talking to Kenya, all types of crazy. Who are you talking to?
Not I said the cat.
Apparently, he had a large order and he was supposed to get a text message when it was ready, and he never received that. And things happen. We understand that. But the energy that he came in, talking to Kenya, all types of crazy, really had me feeling some type of way. But Papa came in and
Yes,
saved the
Big
day.
Papa.
Papa was like, "What's the issue? I can assist." And Homeboy had the nerve to say, "I want an adult."
Mm.
Like, don't undermine these kids. They at least know a little something. And
They more
Papa is,
intelligent than some adults.
he's the manager on duty. So he pulled out the order book. He realized there was a discrepancy and he tried to find a solution to solve it, which he did.
Yeah.
He did a phenomenal job. He was like, "You could have 2 free sides just to compensate you for the inconvenience."
Mm-hmm.
And Homeboy gonna say a side of greens and
And
an apple
apple pie.
pie. How you gonna make that a side? Now you know that's not a side, but Papa used that to his advantage. He's like, "Okay, if you want the pie, you're gonna have to apologize to my colleague here."
Mm-hmm.
This is brownie
Mm-hmm.
points. Papa is really, he's growing into his own shell,
Right.
and I think that's what we're gonna see a lot in the season. Cause where's all this energy coming
He
from?
finding himself more.
Mm-hmm. So Papa found the solution to the issue, and he said, "Okay, we're gonna get this order together. Just take a seat and take a chill pill at this point."
Right.
The man tries to do a half-ass apology, but Papa gets him all the way
All
together,
together. That
and
is
it's
not
like
an apology,
it
sir.
wasn't. It was not. So Papa really came through for Kenya, and I'm sure he got a lot of brownie points in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see how they continue to unfold. So we see Lene and Jamal sitting at Smokey's, and Jamal is not letting up. He's trying to determine who her boyfriend is. Believe I don't know if he really knows his name at this point, but he knows that he's dealing with Duda, and he's just trying to warn Lene that these street niggas is not who you need to deal with.
Exactly. From experience, he giving her. You don't want to end up like out because he was locked up.
Yeah.
You just don't want his little sister to go down that route because he had to leave her.
Exactly. And she is insisting that he's just a lookout, that is only temporary, and he knows best. He knows that that's just the beginning. He knows for a fact that this is not the end all be all, that he's going to get into a lot more trouble if he keeps dealing with Duda. So he tells her to just stay vigilant. And the house from the outside looks dope.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they look like they really came up, and I'm just like, Emmett is about to die for this house. They moving on up to the west side, okay? And Keisha and Malaysia are now talking, and she came out the back with 21 questions. And I'm just like, you need to reevaluate this friendship.
Rekindling.
Exactly. Like some
friendships you gotta let it go. Let that friendship go. Because she was at
she was asking how much is rent, who's paying the mortgage, can you trust Emmett, all this extra stuff. And I'm just like, this is not the energy I need in my house, especially after I finished saging.
Right.
Because why were you able to even walk in? Did it work? I don't think it worked.
It did, because she got the baby. See, the baby saved her.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. But she's asking all these questions, and you could tell on Keisha's face that she is done with this conversation.
Oh, that and the friendship.
And the friendship.
That was the last.
Like, I don't think it's going to go much further from here. But we don't need friends like that in our circles, especially when you're starting something new. You don't need that negative energy attached to it. So Emmett and Lamar are now talking, and I came to the conclusion that men don't like us that much. That's what I got from this scene. Because
now we see why a lot of men is on the DL.
I'm just trying to figure out, this is what men really think about us. Like, y'all don't necessarily want to talk to us. Is it such a task?
Consider him as a man.
No, he's definitely not a man.
For making that statement, that was a child.
He's definitely a hood booger. And his opinion is just very...
He been hurt.
I don't know who hurt his feelings, but he's very immature. He's not where they're trying to be mentally, at least. And he's saying that social media pretty much got these men all acting different because it's not even a holiday and they buying flowers and cooking meals. I'm sorry. What's wrong with that picture?
Ain't nothing wrong with that picture. It's actually amazing.
I mean, cook some meals for me. Bring me some flowers. Why does it have to be a holiday for me to even receive these things? He really topped it off when he said, we don't even want to talk to them. All we want is to eat good, fuck good, and sleep. No. Mm-hmm. This is the last time we're going to see Lamar and Emmett in Keisha's house. I mark my words. I'm sure of it.
In Malaysia.
Keisha and Emmett wrap up their conversations with Malaysia and Lamar, and Tiff and Rob into the building for the housewarming. Tiff comes to the door and she's like, hey, Keisha, nice car. And Tiff said, girl, you got a whole house from this nigga, please. But that I like that they added that in.
Yeah.
Because their dynamic is different since their relationship intertwined in that way. So it was funny just seeing that and seeing how they move past the awkward phase.
Right.
So we are at Smokey's and we see Shad sitting at the bar eating his dark 2-piece meal, because that's what it just has to be. I'm sure it's a 2-piece dark. And he runs into Maishan from IG. If y'all remember Maishan, that is who Emmett was really looking after for advice last season and trying to be a better man. So Shad gets his attention and he's like, hey, I'm needing some advice. And he's like, oh, you can cash at me? Nah. Shad said, listen, I'm low on funds. Maishan said, so then I'm low on advice. This is how it is these days. Like, when it comes to you speaking to someone that is maybe strong in a potential topic, you always got to pay them. Like, I get there's a give and take,
Right.
but if it's 2 minutes of your time, I could say maybe something, maybe a little guidance, a little
These new
tidbit.
IG people is new. They all about them dollars.
All about the dollars. And he really played my boy shot. Like, all he wants is some damn advice, and he ain't got enough money for it. My Sean and Shad are just continue to chop it up. Shad is discussing him doing his time for 15 years and how he's struggling to just get a gig in general. And you could tell he's feeling less of a man because of what he says when my Sean asks him about his girl being a breadwinner. He said, I ain't no broke nigga. So you could tell that's an insecurity of his
Right.
at this moment. But leave it to my Sean to still leave a nugget for how these men be thinking. So he said, we take care of black women for all these years. This is just reparations. They realize that they're both going to Emmett's housewarming party, so they decide to leave together. And we find out how Shad is getting there. He's using Deja's car.
Right.
So that's what he's doing. He's getting his two-piece dark.
Yes.
And he's using his shorty's car. We later find out that she's out of town, so she's not just at work. He not being like Jody from Baby Boy, just driving around her car. Because I was about to say, I hope he pick her up on time.
That's what I was thinking.
Don't have her out there like Yvette. Jada and DeAndre are at the table, and they're making a plate of food, and she's just getting to know who this person is. He introduces himself, and she finds out that he's the realtor, and he's the person responsible for assisting these lovebirds getting a new home in the West Side. With talking to him, she was like, you don't look like a typical realtor. You know, he's not dressed in a typical suit and tie, but he also lets her know that, you know,
he's for his people.
Right, he's for his people, and 9 out of 10 times we talk and dress the same. We are the same. As her wheels are turning, because at this point they turning, she really likes his philosophy on how he wants to
give back to his community.
Give back to the community, absolutely. And also, he wants to really have black people have home ownership within our communities as well. So that's what really gets him going. And in that moment, that's when she was like, oh, this is perfect for Tracey. And she's like, are you single? He is. And he's looking like he cleans up nice. He got everything going for himself, according to Jada. So she's like, let me just try to be the wingman for my girl Tracey. And he is off the market. So next, she was disappointed. Dre and Nina are in the kitchen gifting Keisha and Emmett a dual air fryer. This is a big, you could make 2 meals at once. Dre is super excited about this gift, apparently, but then she walks away because she sees somebody wearing full designer.
Owe her some money.
And they owe the money. No, run me my money. Exactly. I would have been going right after that person too. So she leaves, and this gives Keisha and Nina a moment to talk. And leave it to Nina. She is the epitome of misery loves company. That's the vibes I was getting. She's always so negative. Now, on one hand, I can see where her concerns lie as a mom.
Right.
Because as a mom, we want to ensure that our kids are happy, that they're not being taken advantage of, that they're thriving. But you can see that she really is feeling some type of way when she's talking to her mom, because she's like, I'm just happy. Let me be happy at this point.
And then she's going to say, if you say so.
She's always been she always brings people down. Like, even with Kevin, that's why he lived by himself at this point.
Right.
You know, she never looks up on the optimistic side. It's just always just negative. So that really rubbed Keisha the wrong way, to the point that she just exit stage left and said, I'm tired of this. How did we get to this point, though? Because Kevin is... I'm still trying to get used to all of this.
Listen, the man said he a man now.
He came into the housewarming and just waved at mom, like...
Hand up, like,
Like, hey, mom, yeah, I'm just gonna go hang over here. I'm sorry, you're out my house. Come say hi. Come give me a
Exactly.
hug. Like, how
Exactly.
did you living on your own?
How you doing, mama?
Right. So because you live on your own, that gives you the ability to ignore me as your mother. Lamar? Oh, sorry. We're talking
Yes.
about Kevin. My bad. I thought I was talking about my son Lamar. Oh, got a little touchy there. So because Kevin is waving from a distance, Nina's really feeling some type of way. She doesn't feel like
She's needed anymore
right.
from both of them.
Kevin quickly reminds us that he's living alone because he is loading up this plate, and Maisha as well as Lene are looking at him sideways like, leave some for the rest of us.
Right.
He got all them shrimps. Just while he's finishing making his plate, Lene and Maisha are still talking about Bakari at this point. Lene lets them know that Jamal wants to meet Bakari, how he doesn't want her dealing with the street nigga, and Maisha, she's like, well, it takes one to know one,
Right.
so I think you should listen to his advice because he is a street nigga. He just finished murdering somebody,
Right.
so maybe he's talking about something he knows. So they're just advising her to be careful.
Yeah.
And then the moment happened. Duda entered the room.
Mm.
We went from smiles and music to just
Total
silence.
You could have heard a whole pin drop.
And just to add more cringeworthy material to the scene, not only is he here and people is like, why is he here? But he also has a gift. And he's insisting that he opens this gift right this second, but not in front of people.
Right.
That scene was just so awkward. I was cringing, and just the look on everybody's faces. So Keisha catches Nuck trying to light up in the kitchen, and she lets him know that he gotta take this outside, not in my house. But she already has an attitude with him because they have previous history. I was gonna say I don't know why he's there, but he is Duda's minion, so that's why he's there. So she instructs him to go outside, but Rob does join because he's on a mission.
He up to something.
He trying to get that 100,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he trying to get that 100,000. He trying to figure out who killed his uncle. We're in Keisha and Emmett's bedroom, and Emmett is now opening the lovely gift that Duda gives him. And of course, Duda's right there behind him so he can see his face. Like a proud daddy just waiting to see. But Emmett opens it and it's a gun. It's a wrap for Emmett. Now, when he gave him the gun, if it was from anybody else, I think I would have never felt no type of way.
Right.
Because I think every man has a right to choose how they're going to defend their family.
Exactly.
But with this being forced on him, especially coming from Duda, this is not a good sign. So Emmett is saying he doesn't need it. And of course, Duda's saying every man needs it to protect his family. You never know what you need to protect yourself from. And
then the little comment of, well, they come after your kids.
You see? Duda is a mess. So you know there's going to be a whole bunch of heat coming towards Emmett for whatever reason. So he's trying to get him to stay ready, but I'm not really feeling this. But then when Duda leaves, Emmett quickly looks like Martin from Blue Street. That's the vibe I was getting. Like, why are you in the mirror? Once he was doing all of this, I was just like, rest in peace, Emmett. Because the Emmett that we know and love, he's gone.
He's not even the same no more. He's getting too wrapped up into this boss, quote unquote, mentality.
And he's not using his mind.
No.
Everything that he's doing is because of Duda.
Right.
And what Duda says.
Right.
Nothing is what does Emmett want to do. And this is where the problem starts when you as a man don't decide on your own how you want to protect your family. Because after you playing Martin in the mirror, You leave the gun in the dresser.
Too accessible to them
You got
kids.
kids in this house.
Then you got your little one already thinking that he a gangster.
EJ. We're going to get back to EJ in a second. But you leave it in the dresser. That right there alone had me cringe because we know the kids is in the house.
Right.
It came in a box. You could have stored it in some other way.
Right.
But it just leaves him frantic. He then leaves his room and his dad is standing outside and he picks up on the weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody saw that Duda wanted him to open the gift.
Right.
So I don't know if he was trying to see what the gift was and played it off by acting like he's going to the bathroom.
I believe he was out that door the whole entire time listening and heard that he had a gun there. He knew exactly where he put it
at. I think something was up there.
Yeah, he was listening because he already know. He know as a dad, and he don't like that man.
Mm-hmm. So Rob and Nuck are now outside, and you could tell that Rob is trying to work on his agenda, but he also is smoking the weed that Cairo provided. What did you think about Cairo?
I liked him.
I want to find a real Cairo in real life.
I was like, his little philosophy was on point. I'm gonna say, I would never think anything like that. I would never how he was explaining why this and that, and I was like,
I was thoroughly intrigued.
I don't want to smoke that stuff, but I want it now.
So he has the smoke, so he lets Nuck taste some, and Nuck, you could tell he's impressed as well.
Right.
But he's trying to see where Rob is at because they know that Tiff and Rob are selling Duda's products.
Right.
But they, he made it known that we're no longer smoking his products, but we're still selling it.
Right.
So Nuck took this opportunity to say, "Oh, so you just holding secrets?"
And that was a window.
Here goes the lane segue. Submission. Who killed my uncle? So once he said that, he's like, I mean, we all have secrets, but what secrets are you holding? Type thing. And he's like, well, I keep it 100 with you all the time. This was really when he's like, when he really was like, oh, so now this is really where I could come in.
Right.
He then says, but you keep it 100 with everything excluding my uncle and his death. So what really happened? So Nuck is still insisting that his uncle died because of his previous gambling debts.
Right.
He's insisting that Victor stated that his uncle was taking money from The Rock and Tracey. Mm-hmm. So that caused him to be very upset, and that's what supposedly caused his uncle to die. But Rob was looking at him like, nigga, I know you're lying.
Right.
I know that's not the case, and I just wanted to know the truth. Once Rob realized that that's not what he's going to get from Nuck, he just was like, I need to leave this conversation. And that's exactly what he did. But you could tell on Nuck's face that he wanted to say more.
Right. He wanted to tell him, but he in a bad predicament. If he does, he do. Damned if he do, damned if he don't.
Exactly. So the music is flowing. Everybody's greeting each other. They're having a good time. People are dancing, eating. The party's in full effect, and it's going just as planned. Everyone has forgotten that Duda's in the room, and they're carrying on with the housewarming party. As we're enjoying ourselves, we see EJ and baby Ronnie in a corner, and EJ said, "Stop being a little bitch." Why was Emmett's immediate response to instantly start laughing? You would have laughed?
I probably would have laughed.
You're part of the problem.
Because you would never expect that, like, dang.
Call them a little bitch.
Okay. But in your mind, you laughing in your mind, but it comes out because you're like, dang, what the fuck? Right. I probably would have laughed, but then I would have been like, you know what, baby boy, we don't do that. Right. I get both of their sides because I'm on both.
I'm happy there's a yin and a yang because Emmett is cracking up. Keisha is not impressed. She's very much so bothered to the point that she pulls him aside and she's like, well, we need to figure this out because if he's talking like that home,
he's doing it in school, of course.
Chances are he's doing it in school, and that's not a behavior that we need to tolerate.
Exactly.
And when they asked him where did he pick up this language from?
He was quick to say, in the car with my mama.
Where's mama? So they started talking about how they're going to approach resolving this scenario. And in this moment, I was like, okay, this is the first conflict that they have to work on resolving as a co-parenting unit. So since they just now are getting back on good terms, I do like the fact that Emmett said he'll take lead, just to help navigate them through this process. Victor sees Duda in the kitchen, and Victor can't stand Duda. Anytime that Victor is near Duda, he makes it known that I don't fuck with you.
Can't stand him.
And Victor is trying to tell Duda, don't bring Emmett in your shit. And just like Duda will always do, he'll remind you of all he did for you and his success. So he's like, listen, I'm just trying to invest in his career, his life, and it worked. It paid off for you. So what's the problem? Victor continues to warn him, like, listen, don't blow up this dude's life. Remember, I do have an office seat, so now he feeling himself at this point too, because now he's city council and he feels like he holds a lot of weight when it comes to Duda, but Duda will kill you for less.
Right.
So I don't know how much weight he actually holds, but they do at least agree that they both gonna stay out of each other's way.
Right.
So I'm cool with that. Stay out of each other's way so there'd be no more problems at this point. All right, so we're all dancing to the wobble. Rest in peace to the creator of the wobble. He just recently passed away, from my understanding. So rest in peace. But we're dancing to the wobble. Everybody's having a good time, and I lost it when Shad was doing the wobble.
You know, I didn't even see that part.
Oh, you gotta go back and watch.
I was trying to look at everybody else because I was like, damn, we not all on the same.
No, go back and watch. Shad is giving me, I spent 15 years in prison. Like how he dancing, you could tell he spent time inside.
Oh man.
Oh, so I was cracking up when I saw it. But everybody's dancing, having a good time. Emmett is talking to Kevin, who is sitting on the stairs, and he's trying to see how he's enjoying living on his own, what it's like. And he peeps that Kevin is eyeing Maisha. What did you think about that? Like, I was just all here for the feels. I was like, oh, he's in love.
He was all, that should have been.
That was his girl from the beginning anyway. They was too young.
Yeah.
When they originally were trying to start it out. So he peeps that Kevin is looking at her and he's trying to see if they're getting back together. Kevin is explaining that they're just trying to figure out where they're at this point. I think so much time has passed. They have so many intricate pieces. I mean, Papa is your boy.
Right.
Jem is her manager.
But you gotta remember, him and Maisha was together in the beginning.
Yeah, I get that, but feelings is gonna get hurt. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you never
Especially
want
Papa's.
you never want to hurt nobody's feelings in the process.
Right.
So I think they're really just trying to figure it out, and that's what he tells Emmett. And he's like, this time around is different. I really like her. And I like that he's trying to be intentional, but also taking his time so that no one is hurt in the process. But leave it to Emmett to look at Keisha. Keisha dancing on the dance floor, and he starts, I don't know if he was blowing kisses or whatever he was doing, but we're reminded that that's Kevin's sister. Like, oh, that's gross. I wouldn't want to see nobody looking at my sibling like that. So, yeah, I have the same precedence that Kevin does have. We get outside, and Bakari is trying to see where his girl is at. Lene is standing outside, and she is thinking. Because there's no other reason that would have me standing outside in this cold without thinking. She's thinking about what she's going to do. So she tells Bakari that, she doesn't want to date a street nigga. Yeah. But he also has to remind her, like, you knew what it was when we met. So why are you trying to switch up now? She's trying to switch up because her brother's putting that pressure on her, trying to get them to meet. But she also knows that this is not the dude for her. She knows that
she don't want that life.
She doesn't want that life. She doesn't want to go down for him. But they're going back and forth, and she storms off because she doesn't want to finish this conversation. And he just keeps saying that this is temporary. We all know it's not.
That life ain't temporary.
Nothing about it is temporary. The only thing that's guaranteed is that you either going to jail or you dying. That's it. Keisha and Fatima were admiring the art that Emmett got Keisha last season from Deja's art show. And in the process, Keisha was able to tell Fatima that, she always thought art to be so expensive, but she really got to learn the ins and outs through Deja about different ways that you could obtain certain arts for a cheaper cost.
Right.
Fatima is going over how she has a love for interior decorating, but she doesn't necessarily have the expense to really keep up with her hobbies and what she likes. We also see Victor watching her in this element. I don't think he really seen her, having girl time with anyone else. So he sees her in her element. Keisha and Fatima pretty much hit it off at the housewarming. They go off to exchange numbers so that they could, do some interior decorating potentially in the future together.
Right.
I like to see this Fatima because we haven't seen her in this light.
Much, yeah.
We're getting to see the soft side of her, the things that she really likes and enjoys, the things that keep her going. Jada is on one this evening, okay? We don't even see her interacting with her own husband, and he's very much so there. But Jada is on mission, find a man for Tracey. She doesn't even say hello.
No.
She just said, "You got any kids?" Just out the gate. Out the gate. You got any kids? You got a job? Like, are you single? Like, she's asking 21 questions for Tracey. And this particular guy, he don't have any kids. He's not necessarily dating, but he's living that single life.
Yeah.
It seems like him and Tracey are on the same path right now.
Right.
So it can be some sort of friendship that could brew from this if she passes it on.
He don't look like her type.
That's why I said friendship. Dude will probably kill him for looking at her. He probably will. But I don't see that that's her type, but I think she's just trying so hard to get Tracey a man. Right. But then Darnell comes to save the day.
Of course.
He says, stop harassing these men at this party. And if Tracey is cool with being single, she's cool with being single. If she wants to be alone, let her be alone. Let her enjoy this time. Right. We can't just keep determining what other people need. Like, if she said this is what she's needing, just let her live.
She want her time.
Let her live. So Darnell saved the day. So Keisha was putting down one of the kids for bed, and as she was leaving, she was approached by Nuck. And she instantly says the bathroom was across the hall. Like, she's trying to keep it real short, but he's like, no, I really wanted to talk to you. I came here intentionally. So Nuck uses this opportunity to apologize to Keisha about the night of her kidnapping.
Yes.
And somehow I forgot that their timeline was aligned with the kidnapping, because I knew they dated briefly.
Right.
I just didn't realize the impact that he had on the night that she got kidnapped.
Right.
So he's pretty much saying, I'm sorry, I didn't know what to say, because why are you waiting now to say it too? She had a whole kid, like, she's since moved on, but he didn't know what to say. He didn't know if she wanted to talk to him.
Exactly.
But he does feel responsible of not going to get her that night, because had he went to pick her up,
she wouldn't have been in that situation.
She would have never been in that situation. So that was real deep.
Yeah.
I was not expecting us to go there, but I think the conversation needed to be had. You could tell that she released some tension there.
Yeah, she forgave him.
She did forgive him. But Emmett walks in and ends the conversation short. But you could tell that's not the end to that conversation. Like, there's more healing that needs to be had between the two. But I completely forgot. I was like, I forgot that he was there. So, I want to go back and watch. I have to go back and watch that reference. So we learned that Shad is missing his woman and her titties.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, when you amongst your friends, I don't need you referring to me by my titties. Okay, if you miss
don't refer to my
me,
body at all.
don't refer to my body at all. Just I miss my girl. I think that's
Right.
good. But they always make me laugh in moments like this. So we see Darnell, my Sean, and Shad just chatting it up. But do guys really think that women, when they travel, are just smashing everything in front of them? Is that how?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
insecure ones that's not used to a woman actually being the breadwinner.
Okay, I can see that because I'm like, I
You know,
don't be
when the
even
breadwinner,
thinking
then
that.
she out there doing her thing.
They
I'm
just
at
think
home taking care of the house.
they just think we out here just. Darnell said, "I hope she not away fucking."
Because you got to think that's what he used to do.
Oh yeah. First of all, where's all his other kids?
And the baby mamas.
What? Where's all the other kids and Emmett's kids?
Because we only see the two, the one,
The two. Is it two?
just two. Because Ronnie's not his. Just little EJ.
Oh, see, we gotta figure out where these kids are. I guess it's the same babysitter that was watching the baby in Power because they doing all this other stuff. And I'm trying to figure out who watching the baby because the mom wasn't there. But anywho, I'm not. Don't let me jump to another show. So the time has come for Tiff and Rob and Emmett and Keisha to have a little conversation about what transpired earlier with baby EJ and using the bitch. But again, they repeat what EJ said, and Tiff and Rob automatically started laughing too.
That part I did was like, dang, I had to laugh. My first initial would have been like, dang, really? You know, I apologize.
Nah, everybody just laughed. Everybody laughed at this except for Keisha. And I guess I'm the only one on Keisha's side because I was the only one that didn't find it funny. But I can see why people laugh. I can see why.
Because you wouldn't expect it from,
nobody expected that from EJ. So Keisha's the only one that does not find this funny, and she makes it very clear.
Right.
Her whole body language and demeanor was not of peace. That's what I got. Like she quickly forgot all of which her and Emmett discussed because Emmett was supposed to run lead on this. And she quickly just rubbed Tiff the wrong way. Like the minute she made it seem as if I'm trying to tell you how to parent your child, that's the second that Tiff lost it. And you can see Rob in the back, like he cringed, like he was like, "Oh, that's not the right way, not the right path, not the right way to go."
Right.
And that wasn't the right angle for Keisha.
But I do want to say I did appreciate how Rob apologized to Keisha.
Yeah,
that was nice.
He has a lot of emotional intelligence that has been rubbing off on Tiff as well too. So the fact that he acknowledged it, because he didn't realize this was going to be a serious conversation. Right. The second he heard her tone, he did quickly was like, I'm sorry, Tiff. Yeah. Okay, and he got serious with them, but Tiff was not feeling it, and she said, "We gone." She left. So I was like, "Here we go," but. This is to be expected. Right. This is their first challenge that they have to overcome, and it's just the delivery of it all. I think Emmett should have kept talking, less of Keisha, or y'all also need to establish what's the right way of even talking to each other in this capacity. Like, how do you want that to happen? Right. Bluetooth. Mr. Bluetooth put his foot down. Okay. Mr. Bluetooth put his foot down. I'm terrified for Darnell. Right. Because don't nobody talk to Duda like this. Right. We want you to survive. I need you here for Jada. Y'all had all this time. I need you here for her. But Darnell calls him a fake ass Billy D. Williams. Darnell be dropping them gems throughout the season. Like, if we just get a list together of all his jabs that he be saying to people, I was cracking up there. But he says that if anything happens to my son or his girl or any of these damn kids, no problem killing him. No problem. And I felt that. No, and he meant it. I truly felt like he meant it. And you know he meant it because he took the Bluetooth out. He was like, don't let this Bluetooth fool you. I was here for that scene. Okay, Mr. Bluetooth was shutting it down. He said, not my son. Not on my watch. At all. Emmett comes out and he's like, what's this about? And he didn't say anything. He was like, we just having a conversation, you know. But Darnell means business.
Right. When it comes to his child.
But I'm scared. I'm scared for him because anytime somebody does something wrong and do this eyes
sideways.
Look what happened to Homeboy with the gun.
I'm gonna say he was.
He shoot people for fun. Lene is chilling in her room and she gets a text from Bakari and he says that he's outside. She rolls her eyes a little bit because she know they're gonna have to finish the conversation that they started at the housewarming. But she comes to the door and here he is with his Cheetos and his trolleys. That's what we call it?
Yes.
What is that?
The best candy in the world. Okay?
Like, is it a gummy? Like
it's
a hard
gummy.
Candy?
It's a sour gummy.
Ooh, so almost like the little sour worms in a way? Oh, so then I would like that. Yeah. Okay. So he brought that. Listen.
He won my heart right there.
I'm sorry. Trolleys. But you, no. We are not the same because I'm going to need more than that. Listen. You think you're going to get on my good side because you brought some Charlies and some Cheetos?
You bring me some Lay's sour cream chips and some trolleys?
Dang. That's it?
Listen.
Good to know. Let me write this down. So Lene, she's like, listen, I'm not trying to go to jail for you.
Right.
Bakari's like, you won't, but how can you promise that?
You can't.
There's nothing about this conversation that you can say to guarantee that I'm not going to get caught up in your mess. And that's what I don't like. Like, I don't like having the unnecessary conversations of things that I know you can't.
That you can prevent.
Yeah, like, it's either you're going to stop or not.
Right.
You just keep giving him room to keep telling you that it's temporary and that he's just trying to stack up. I get you like money. Everybody else does. Right. You know, there's other ways to make money. There's you could start a damn business. You could do so many other things, but you want to do this watch out or his lookout. So he doesn't want a corporate job. And she's like, well, okay, but you can make other money. Right. But I just want to be happy. That's what I truly desire. And along the lines, that's when Bakari's just like, I'm just surviving. I'm not necessarily happy. Like, I don't know if I could have a relationship with somebody that don't even think they're happy.
Right.
That's red flag number 3,576.
And you can't even think outside the box that it's more than life than being in the street.
Yeah, that's all he know. And then when she said, well, my brother wants to meet you, he said the one that killed somebody.
Right.
How you gonna say that, but you done killed Ronnie?
Right.
Broad daylight at that in front of Smokey's.
My face was kind of lit sideways, and I was like, wait, okay.
That's interesting. Lene said something so powerful when she was leaning up against that fridge. She said, I do not want to watch you die. That broke me. The fact that you even said that, and the fact that he said, age. Yeah, like, y'all supposed to be getting ready for college, and this shouldn't be our concern. And there's no way that you could promise that this is not what you're going to do.
Exactly.
And I hate that she even asked him to promise that. He can't promise that he's going to survive. He can't promise that he won't go to jail. The only thing he could take accountability with is leaving the game if he really wanted to be there and, and valued, what his future outcome would be. He pretty much made a promise that he can't keep, and I think that's going to set the tempo for the rest of the season or just their dynamics along, because we know you can't keep that promise. We know you working with Duda. So chances are, I hope you're not in the casket by the end of the season, but I feel like them words is going to bite him.
Bakari, that's my baby.
Fatima's getting ready for bed, and Victor asks her if she wants to move in. I didn't think we was here yet.
No, like she said, we only been dating a couple months.
Exactly, and I'm like, how did we get to this point? I really miss Imani.
Yeah, she was a ride or die.
Yeah,
she definitely was a ride or die. She kept him on his toes. But Fatima seemed like she she got that home feeling. I think that's what
That
he was looking for.
nurturing. Yeah, and he already has a weird relationship with his mom, so he needs that nurturing aspect. But she has her reservations. They just been only dating for a few months. But she's like, okay, if I do this, I need a budget so I could spruce up the place.
Right.
And
her touches on.
Yeah, spruce up the place, put the touches on. And I'm liking this. I think this is a new chapter that we're going to see unfold between the two as we get to know Fatima more. Kenya and Papa are talking at Smokey's right now, and she is. It looks like they're getting ready for the closing shift, but she's very thankful to Papa for sticking up for her with that disgruntled customer. In this moment, we get to see how much brownie points that Papa actually got, because she invited him to go bowling, and she was against it before, because they do have an age difference, but he really impressed her with sticking up for her.
Baby boy was like, I gotta ask my mama.
How you go from I gotta ask my mama to fuck that?
Yeah.
So that, I think, is gonna bite him in the butt, because you still in high school.
Yeah.
You ain't grown, and then you was talking to your father crazy too last week.
Yeah, he was.
Tiff and Rob are heading home from their lovely housewarming experience, and they're listening to rap music. I can't recall which artist was playing at the time.
I have no idea.
But EJ is in the back jamming. Okay, he is nodding his head, and she looks back and she's like, "Oh, I don't like how this looks." And she quickly turns the stereo to some different sort of music. But in that moment is where she grasped what everyone was saying.
Right.
But in that moment, I also was like, "Okay, there's hope."
Right.
To find the silver lining between the conflict between the other co-parents that's involved. Right. You could see how powerful that music can impact your child just by how he's reacting. And the second she turned it off, he looked all sad.
Right.
But we do have to control our environment and the kids' environment of what they listen to. Because yes, they're gonna hear these curse words, but they're gonna feel okay to use it if you're just going around using it left and right. So I like that scene. It was very powerful without words because they said nothing. Yeah. And then Rob looked at her and
said, "That's my baby.
That's my boo girl. You learning." Because before she met Rob though, she was on the 10 and he brought her down. Like
ghetto mess.
She's still a mess. Yeah. But she's calmed down tremendously. So a scene without words was still just very much so powerful. Very powerful. It was. So we're closing up the night. Keisha is now getting ready for bed. And remember how I opened up season 6, episode 1 recap? There was a trend on that particular episode. And this one, it looks like everyone, we got to see their end of night routine. Everyone's getting ready to lay down. But Emmett and Keisha are talking, and Emmett apologized on behalf of Tiff. Keisha accepts the apology, but she's not in the space of being upset, which is good. She's in the space of, listen, I really want us to find a better way to do this. Like, she doesn't want the tension. She's still just saying, we're going to find it. It's going to take some time. But she does accept the apology. So they get in bed and they're reflecting over Lamar and Malaysia and how that outcome was.
They realize everybody can't go where you go.
That part.
I enjoyed that part.
They always putting the nuggets in. Go ahead, drop the gem. In that moment, I was just like, yes. It's true. Everyone can't go with you. And I liked how they displayed that on the show. Right. So you can see prime examples. You got Malaysia asking all these questions on one side. You got Lamar still acting like he's in high school. Right. And at some point, we have to look at our friends and determine, okay, who's staying, who has to go. Right. We definitely can't take everyone with us, especially with the growth that they're trying to continue having. Emmett asks Keisha about her and Nuck's conversation. So I wonder how long he was thinking about this.
He was waiting.
He was waiting for the opportunity. He was like, hey, what you and Knuckles talking about? And she was like, nothing. He's like, oh, are you trying? Is he trying to get back with you? No. They had a brief conversation, but leave it to Keisha. Everybody love just putting it on to the next, asking another, tit for tat. There's no finishing the conversation. It's just, well, what about you? You want to ask about me and Nuck? What about you and Duda? What were y'all talking about? And Emmett is trying to play it off at this point.
Cigars.
I mean, everybody saw that you had a gift. Everybody saw that this has to be something big that you couldn't open in front of people.
Right.
And you want me to believe it's cigars? No. Mm-mm. As they're talking, Keisha just brushes him off because she's like, I know it wasn't no damn cigars.
Exactly.
But the truth is going to come out. So I think that's where she's at. Like, the truth is going to come out. I'm not going to dwell on it right in this moment. Mm-hmm. But Emmett goes to put his phone in the dresser. And he realizes the gun is gone.
Man, almost had a heart attack.
Damn near did.
Mm-hmm. Searching through the whole house. Not even on
He didn't even go that far.
Well, he just went to the bathroom.
And then how do you try to even lay down calmly after that?
Right. And for her not to continue to ask questions and keep saying nothing. Something startled you from opening up that drawer to going searching in the house. I need to know what you looking for. Mm-hmm.
There's no way I'm going to bed after you was just frantic.
Right.
And me still not having no further conversation about it. I guess we're going to see the outcomes of what happened. You know, they'll probably take up from
I hope so.
Them.
I was asking questions.
I got so many questions.
And he wasn't answering me.
At all. You text him.
I did. I didn't get no response.
Jacob, let us know. Let us know what the script says, Jacob. We are accepting interviews. So that was the episode. We saw a lot in episode 3. We partied. We had a good time. But what's your thoughts on the rest of the season, or what you think is going to happen next? What's your predictions? Let's start with Rob. What's your predictions for Rob?
He gonna get down to the bottom of it. He gonna figure out that it was Duda. He's gonna try to figure out how to get Duda out.
You think he gonna kill him himself?
Somebody is. Mm-hmm. I don't know who, because everybody want him out.
Right.
But somebody gonna take Duda out, and that's gonna be the end of it.
Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on Kenya and the rest of the season? I think something's up with her.
Something up with her.
Something.
Her demeanor is something off about her, and it's sneaky. It gives me that sneaky vibe. She up to something.
Yeah.
Especially with Papa.
Like, I hope, because what I was thinking, I was like, okay, when they were talking as she was dropping him home,
that's what I saw.
And he found out who the father is. Mm-hmm. I was like, it sounds like she's far away from home to where Smokey's is. So I don't know if I was thinking too far there, but I was like, who sent her here to work? Like, why here out of all places? Who sent you? I'm just curious to see. I think I'm thinking way too much into it. I don't know.
No, she up to something.
Yeah,
she
it's
got
clear.
Something up her sleeves. Yeah. And it has something to do with her father. Because as soon as he mentioned her father, she was like, yeah, I know. I
got to watch again now. Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other predictions? Anything big that stands out to you?
But I think Bakari, I really think that he go try to figure something out.
What, to leave the game?
Yeah.
You think so?
I do.
I think he 10 toes down.
I don't think so. Just because from the scene from the second episode where Duda was like, you work for me. And he was like, but I live with him. And then when his father was like, you are part of the family now, son. He felt, he was like, damn, that's what he was looking for. His face was like,
oh yeah, because he doesn't have
a family.
Like, okay. I can see that too, but also I could see
he probably gonna be the one to take Duda out.
Well, he took out Ronnie.
But Ronnie,
he had a reason for that.
Yeah, but Ronnie, he wasn't a crackhead.
Well,
but
I think
Duda got power.
So now that you say that about Bakari, I can say that I think Lene's gonna get into some mess because of it.
Because she's gonna be 10 toes down with him.
I don't think she's gonna be 10 toes down, but I think it's gonna be like a ripple effect between Jamal and Bakari. Like something's gonna happen. I think she's gonna get caught up in some way, somehow. But that's really it. So that was episode 3 of The Shy. Tell me what you thought. And give my guests a round of applause. Thank you so much. You guys could follow her on Instagram. Let us know what your Instagram is, girl.
It's Tracey1345, and that's TRACEY1345.
All right. And you know, as always, you can follow me on IG at I'm_that_dope, Facebook, Janelle Renee. But you'll see that tagged all the way at the bottom of this episode. And I just want y'all to chime in. Let us know your thoughts, your predictions, what you think is going to happen for the rest of the season. Let's chat.